Warning. The facts you are about to hear are based off 2 hours of researching the pros and cons of history's heroes and most controversial figures. This is Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history.
Bro, my grandkids are going to be like, yo, this guy is doing that. So my kids are going to be like that.
Our kids could look at, they have a history class and they're going to do a breakdown of somebody. Then they can just watch one of our episodes and take notes.
And they could play clips. You'd allow them.
Look at these guys, these experts talking about rape in the 1800s.
This is where my dad talks about rape being like an iPhone.
Damn. Yep.
Or slavery was like an iPhone. Sorry.
So shout out to all you kids out there watching us at home. You're back for another episode.
Should we get into it? I'm going to reset it if we're going to get into it. Let's do it. Bang. Because that was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't want
you start both of them at the same time? I thought one has to be like a little jet lag.
Exactly. But I had both on just in case. You never know. We might use that one day. I might need that for a documentary clip.
Damn. Some B-roll.
Yeah, man.
We're back for another episode of Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. I'm your host, James Jam Easy Cummins, and I'm here once again with Colin Cummings.
Hello.
And today we're going to get into one of the greatest conquerors of all time. No matter how you slice it, he did a lot of conquering, and he was also known as a short king. Well, we'll get into that, actually. Who knows if he was really short, but that's what I really knew about him. Guys, of course, I'm talking about Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to say the last name.
Normally, you just hear Napoleon by itself, but
yeah.
What did you know about Napoleon before?
I knew that he was small and that he was, like, vicious. I knew he was, like, a small, vicious guy. And like he was the reason that people would say like a small man complex, Napoleon complex. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I knew about him, and that he was French.
Oh, you want to do great things because you're short, you little bitch? That's what people say. Like, if I do great things, they're like, "Oh, you got Napoleon complex because you're under 6 foot and you're accomplishing great things."
That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. But I have heard. Spoiler alert, in my research, I found out that they said that Napoleon wasn't actually that short. It was just like a British propaganda.
That's exactly what I heard.
But then they say he was probably like 5'6", 5'7", which was perfectly average at the time. I'm like 5'7", and people don't make me feel like I'm an average height. They make me feel short.
Yeah. They said he was of average height, which would be around 5'6" back then.
5'6", 5'7", they said he was.
That makes sense.
I think if I stand up my straightest, I'm 5'8".
No way.
If I really like,
you just keep your hair in a bun.
Then I'm 5'9".
That's how you.
If you go by hair bun, I can tie that shit up. Yeah. I could probably reach 6 foot.
You just leave it up and just leave it like that.
Yeah,
it'll fool girls.
Yeah, look at. Oh my God! I look up to his hair.
It's like when a bear comes and you just like you act like you're big, and the bear's like, holy shit.
Nice.
Same thing. Make your head big.
So
it'll get them.
So you did hear that he was vicious. So I don't know if I really heard much good or bad about him. I just knew that he was trying to take over the world out of France. Like that's what I didn't know that. That's what I heard about him. Whatever. Short guy trying to take over Europe. Started in France. So now after looking into him, there is a lot of pros and cons. Was he defending a revolution or was he imposing a dictatorship? Was he spreading liberal ideas, but using imperial wars to do them? Basically, it was a bit of a mess, but it was for the times. He might have he did what he had to do at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing. Everybody's doing what they got to do.
Everyone's doing what they got to do.
No matter who we cover, they're just doing what they got to do.
Yeah. Sometimes, in a way, right? Because okay, at face value, you hear about France invading other countries, and you're like, what the fuck, France? Like,
exactly.
Are you guys you don't have enough land? But there was a little bit more to it because, okay, so in 1789, the French Revolution overthrew the monarchy. So the monarchies, like kings and queens, instead of them running the country, they're like, no, let's the people. We're going to take it back.
Yeah.
We want to be able to elect officials and not just be. Everyone has a chance to be in power, not just if you're a king or
not
a queen.
the elites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after they overthrew the monarchy, neighboring countries were afraid of revolutions in their own country. So they began attacking France.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So they're like, no, we want to get that monarchy back. So Napoleon, being a good like general, he knew how to fight back, but he also realized that the best defense was a good offense. So that's when they started invading other countries.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was some power hungry Napoleon complex guy. It was we don't want a monarchy, and if you're gonna come try and impose a monarchy on us, we're gonna impose a non-monarchy on you. We're gonna come spread the word of a republic.
Spread the word. spread the word.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
So yeah, somebody needed to step up in France to help them out, and that was Napoleon. He overthrew the government, seized power himself to protect the young republic from being crushed by European monarchies.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He defended this government.
Yeah.
And then, got them all nice and cozy, and then 4 years later he did that and took it over.
Because
pretty gangster shit.
The first people that came to power, apparently they were pretty bad. Like when they first had their overthrew the monarchy, the group of people that took over, they came to power after a very chaotic revolution, and they had a very anti-Catholic extremist. They would have nonstop executions for everyone that didn't agree with them. Like they were a pretty like brutal government. So that's when Napoleon overthrew them. Like he's like, nah, this can't be how we do this. Like I like the no monarchy thing too, but you can't just be cutting people's heads off for believing in Catholic.
Yeah. That's what I heard. I looked into this a little bit. I don't know why. Just something about Napoleon. I felt like I needed to bone up on it.
Bonaparte on it.
So, yeah, see what I did there?
Yeah.
I haven't been on stage in a while.
So when he came to power, he instituted a constitution and a legal code. So now it was the first place freedom of religion, abolition of hereditary privilege, and equality for all men. Mm-hmm. And I stress men because women, not so much.
No.
He deprived women of the rights that the revolution was supposed to give them. When they overthrew the monarchy originally, women were supposed to have rights, but he's like, nope, no right to vote, no right to their own property, and once they're married a man, all their wages and everything that belongs to the man too. Like,
yeah, see, this makes sense because like I read that he was like a natural introvert, which back then meant incel. So
ooh,
for sure, right?
Wow,
and that's why he was like this.
That is interesting because if a woman committed adultery, they go to jail. But if men are only punished if they commit adultery in their own home. You can fuck bitches outside the house.
Oh, that's some incel law shit. That's great. Your wife goes to jail if she cheats.
Yeah,
that's gangster.
But you only cheat if you cheat in your family home, which is a good rule to this day. Like if you're gonna cheat, don't do it in your bed.
Imagine, and you could just go to your boy and be like, "Listen, I want her out. Just say that you fucked her."
Oh wow!
And he'd be like, "All right, let's do it."
That's fucked.
And then she'd go to jail.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts. So women were black back then, basically.
Women were black.
Yeah,
blackballed.
Basically.
And speaking of black, he did reinstitute slavery in French colonies.
I heard that. That's true, eh? I wanted to see if you came up with that too.
They were taking their foot off the gas in slavery, and when Napoleon came back, he's like, no, we're gonna keep up with that slavery shit.
I saw it on it was like a pro-black type of site. It seemed like, so I didn't know if it was true, but you just came with it. Wow.
Now,
damn Napoleon.
Yeah, I didn't look a ton into the colony stuff because I was trying to focus more on what Napoleon was doing, like in where he was, like because he wasn't in the French colonies, like he was in France fighting off people trying to invade, and then he started invading other European places. He wasn't really like the head of slavery. He just reinstated slavery. I don't even know how much of a role he personally played in slavery. Did you find out anything about that?
I heard it was just Haiti. like in
Haiti?
the hate, like in like I guess, and maybe that's why they speak French to this day. He was
Did he ever go to Haiti?
I don't know if he ever went there.
I don't think so. Not from what I found out.
You was just like put him back to work.
Yeah.
He's like, put the word out. He's like, and bitches go to jail if they cheat.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so amazing that somebody actually took the time to make that law.
Well, yeah, it is. And I wonder if it was a personal thing because he was very madly in love with his wife. Now, you said you might have heard something different. Now, what I heard is when he was away at war, he married his wife and he was writing her letters like nonstop about wanting her so bad and all this stuff. And allegedly she might have had some affairs on him.
And that's why he made the law.
So maybe that's why he made the law.
He's just writing it, bitch. You have any idea what I can do? I will make this a law. That's what he said. He sent that letter out, and she was just like, Jesus Christ, Napoleon's crazy.
But I don't know if he
sucking on some guy's dick.
Damn. Yeah, that's rough. Where did I?
Yo, is that him?
What, the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Guy looks all right, man.
Looks all right. Yeah.
Looks like Harry Styles. Even has the dress on and everything.
Anyways, I don't want to. Now I'm looking to see where the story is about his wife allegedly cheating on him. Maybe I'll find it after. But
I heard that one marriage was like he was really into the woman. It was like harmonious but distant. So he loved. Oh, and maybe that's what you're talking about. So it was like really harmonious but distant. And the other one, like he was close to her, like he was fucking her and everything, but like they weren't. He didn't like her that much. And then after that, he just had mad mistresses. He was just like, fuck bitches, bro. And he just, anybody,
really?
Yeah.
So was that Josephine, do you think? Josephine, I think, is the one that he was writing letters to. So, and they say in his first night together, they had such a passionate embrace of each other that her dog ended up biting Napoleon because she thought he was the dog thought Josephine was under attack when she was getting fucked.
He was like, dog was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's some incel shit too, right? I hugged this girl and then her dog bit me. Yeah, I never went back. I guess we never went back.
He did go back. He loved her.
Screw her, man.
He loved that. But I tell you, if he found out she was cheating, she was going to jail. Yeah, so back to where I was just trying to go through the story. Found the best defense with the offense. So yeah, he started invading European places, trying to, anyone that was trying to invade him, he was coming back at them. He tried to enforce a European-wide blockade of Britain. Britain was the main enemy of France, and the main place that wanted a monarchy. Like to this day, you still hear about the Queen of England. Like England's always been like about that royal family. And back in those times, like there was alliances between royal families. Like, oh, if you marry my, princess from France, then whatever, blah blah blah. Like they're linking up. So they wanted that monarchy back now. So Napoleon specifically tried to create a blockade from anyone in Europe that was going to help Britain, and anyone that disagreed with him, he would invade. So if you were Spain and you were still trading goods with Britain, he was going to come try and attack you.
Wow, that's some 50 Cent shit. See, I wonder if 50 Cent studied this guy, because 50 Cent had the same mentality when he was coming up. He would be like, if you're next to the person that I have a problem with, then I got a problem.
I'm coming at you. I'm making a diss track about you.
Yeah. No, this was like in the streets.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he'd be like, if somebody like everybody's getting shot.
50 Cent kill people?
Well, no, he would just talk about the street life, like when he first like got into the eye of like the media. He'd be like, that's how it has to be. If I got beef with you and you're with the guy, then I got beef with you too.
Fair enough.
He would always say that shit. Crazy.
Now, although his invasions led to wars with millions of people dying, it also spread democratic and liberal ideas across Europe. Like France was that place that started that. Like, no more monarchy. Now we're gonna liberate the people. We're gonna have a democracy. The people of the country have a say in what goes on here. It's not just like listen to what the king says.
Yeah.
So even though he himself kind of turned into an emperor, like a dictatorship, like the rhetoric of him invading other places was like, let's take out your queen and king and let's liberate the people. So it was kind of good.
Yeah.
for people as a whole.
But I feel like it's like, yo, let's liberate the people.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to the guys who are like pretty much going to be like the government. They're like, we're going to liberate this shit, bro. You know what he has in there, bro? We're going to liberate it, bro. We're going to liberate all around.
And when he took over places, he would oftentimes put like a relative in charge as the figurehead. He'd be like, okay, so now you're leader of the government is my brother.
Cousin Marv.
Yeah.
He's the new emperor here. That's pretty dope. I like that. I like when people put their family into
it is, but at the same time, then you're still doing the hereditary shit that you kind of banned in France, where it's like we're not just gonna hand off power based off being related.
Well,
but then he did when he's like, but in Spain, my brother's got that shit.
How much liberation do you want, right? I mean, come on. He has to liberate himself a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Gotta liberate the fam. Now, France achievements under Napoleon were massive in terms of education, commitment to science, standardization, modernization of the economy, and opening the door to opportunity for ordinary people who were not royals. It really felt like you had you had a real ceiling over your head before when it was the royals in charge. Now he gave people the opportunity to, to grow, to be anything they wanted to be.
Spread your wings, baby. Go ahead. No king's gonna slap you down. Don't worry. I got you. Okay. I'm Napoleon. I'm Napoleon. Look at me. I'm 5'7". I'm average height.
I'm average height. I'm 5'7" and I'm average height. I just want everyone to know that.
You think he walked into places like that? Look, come here, sir. And he'd stand next to somebody. See? Average height. Yeah. This guy was like really 6 foot.
This guy's going like this so he doesn't get his head cut off.
Yeah, he's just like, he walks up like that.
Yeah. Look at this tallest man in French. Look at how tall I am next to him. And he just like goes shoulder to shoulder with him.
Just gets on his knees.
Starts sucking his dick. Look at him. Look at what the tallest man is doing to me.
Wow. That'd be amazing. That's where the Napoleon complex came from. That's what it really was back in the day. Napoleon complex is when you force some dude to suck your dick because you're afraid of him.
Because you want everyone to know how big and bad you are. But he was big and bad, man. Napoleon, he was an excellent general. All right. He was an exceptional military commander. He must have been. You know what I mean? He fought over 70 battles, was defeated in only 8. He transformed the way in which French operated their army and turned France into the greatest military power in Europe.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe these days. You know what I mean?
Really hard to believe. Doesn't even make any sense. But maybe it was bigger.
Remember when France wouldn't help America fight in Afghanistan and they changed the name of French fries to freedom fries?
Yep.
That's where France is at these days. You know what I mean? They're like, they ain't the great military power they used to be. They're shying away from terrorists.
Yep. Exactly.
Goddamn France.
Exactly. It's actually really weird. But you know what? I forget who said it, but I saw some quote. They're like, all Napoleon knew was war. Like you're saying, he must have been great. They're like, that's all he knew. All he knew was invading and fighting and taking over and conquering shit. Because
when he went to, that's the thing. Like I think it's a pro about him. When he went to battle, when he went to invade, yes, he's the commander. Yes, he's the emperor of the country now. But he's still going to fight.
Yeah,
he was still going, like, leading the army, which was inspiring to the men. You know what I mean? His confidence and ambition inspired the troops.
And he started as a soldier, so he literally started from the bottom.
Yeah,
that's insane. He started as a soldier and then turned into Napoleon. We're talking about him right now.
And there's the Napoleon complex, but there's also the Napoleonic Code. So this is something that Napoleon established, and to this day it pretty much still kind of exists. So under Napoleon's guidance, a commission of jurists finished drafting a body of clearly written civil laws to replace the patchwork of customary feudal and religious laws that existed before.
Wow.
So he replaced it with like actual like laws that are still around to this day. The code recognized the principles of civil liberty, the equality of men before the law, and the secular nature of the state. The Napoleonic Code influenced the development of legal systems around the world. It remains the basis of civil law in France, Belgium, and many former French colonies to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, and France was like the original one of that. Like before that, it was all like, do this because the king says that. Do this. You know what I mean? It was. Now he's like, no, let's make laws for the people, by the people.
That's
make
crazy.
Them make sense.
That's actually crazy. And they still, I was reading that there were some institutions that he even made that are still standing to till this day.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, in France, certain things that like are around like law and legislation or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's insane. That's
and that
crazy.
Was over 200 years ago because it's late 1700s, early 1800s.
It was 200 years ago.
Over 200 years ago because we're in 2020 now, and this was like 1800, late 17, early 1800s.
Wow, it's really not that long ago. That's insane. That Napoleon was around. Just what was that? Your great grandparents?
Napoleon?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Wouldn't it be?
Oh.
50 years per generation or something?
Okay. Let's see.
That's giving them short lives. Sorry to do that.
I would say great. Like
Would it be?
It would probably be my grandma's great grandmother, maybe.
Wow.
Would be around in that time, the early 1800s.
She'd be walking around saying, "That goddamn Napoleon. I just wanted to listen to the king. Fucking jerk."
Really? Yeah. I think some people might have felt that, but I think
For sure.
most people were pretty on board with Napoleon in France, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's probably no matter what kind of improvement comes, there's always people that are against it.
Yeah.
You know?
He didn't seem like a vicious dictator in his own country. Like, yes, he went to war and a lot of people lost their lives, but as far as like in your own country, like once he liberated the people, like I think France was pretty happy with the turnout.
Yeah, they were.
They never turned back.
No, exactly. That's the thing. They embraced that shit.
Napoleon introduced beneficial reforms in France. He brought a number of useful innovations that survive to this day. He centralized the government administration and introduced the prefecture system. I don't know what that is.
Prefecture system?
Yeah.
What is that? Prefectures?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Okay, we'll come back to that. But
I thought he just murdered people. See, isn't this like obviously he wasn't just into invading and shit. He was doing all this shit. How did he even know how to do this? Yo, men were multifaceted back.
He
in
was
the day,
big
bro.
about education and shit. Like,
yeah. I heard this.
Yeah.
He was huge into enlightenment.
Yeah.
He was like, he said something like "dare to know," like everybody should like know, and that's probably why he wanted laws like.
Oh yeah, he had some good quotes. We'll get to the quotes later. I have some.
He was. They called him a student of enlightenment, or a member or something. And I was like, is that the Illuminati?
Interesting.
He's just talking about being enlightened and like constant. Like,
that is very interesting. Because so he when he took power, he also like I mentioned it already, like stepping up the education system and stuff. But allegedly, like he was like the first person to make high schools.
Really?
Yeah, like high schools were like by him. Like before that, they didn't really have that. Like you had.
That's crazy.
As a kid, and then I think you had universities back then, but you didn't have high schools.
Yeah, you were like 12, and then it was like you start working.
Yeah.
Unless you seem kind of smart.
Yeah.
Then you can still work, but you'll also do some kind of schooling.
Yeah. So
eventually.
now they gave you the chance to even for everyone to continue to be educated. And yeah, he was big on like science and stuff. So yeah, he definitely wanted to be enlightened. He facilitated the adoption of the metric system, built public roads and sewers, and instituted a system of state-supported secondary education, which is what I just said. Yeah.
Let me just see something real quick, because this guy's doing a lot of things.
What are you gonna look up?
I just want to put in Napoleon Freemason.
Ooh,
that's all I want to see real quick, because this guy seems like a Freemason. Freemasonry under the First French Empire, Napoleon and Empire. Napoleon the First and Freemasonry, Grand Lodge of British Columbia. Wow. So he was.
He was a Freemason?
It's saying he was supposedly initiated into Freemasonry in Egypt.
Because he was in Egypt before too. Before the revolution, he was at war with the British people in Egypt because he was trying to France was trying to block England's access to India. And they were going through Egypt. So He was he must have learned some crazy stuff over there.
And that was like a place of enlightenment.
Oh, for sure.
That was like a place of learning and wisdom. So
Egypt is like.
So he came back on that shit. Wow, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Bro.
So if he never went to Egypt, I wonder if he would have ever accomplished what he did, because that's when he came back is when he started like.
He knew what was up.
He did his thing. Yeah.
Wow, let's be Freemasons. You want to join?
I got invited already, but.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, man, jump right in there, man.
Jump in?
Yeah, man. I want this thing to take off a little bit. Like, I don't know. Why not? And we'll I don't know.
We probably, some of our episodes will get blackballed if we join the Freemasons. They're gonna be like, nope, you can't talk about that. You know too much.
No, they'll let you talk about it.
Really?
Yeah, I know a bunch. You can talk about whatever you want.
All right, let's do it.
Your initiation process. You're gonna be naked.
That's fine.
The initiate. You just have to say like a long verse of something, and you're naked.
What verse?
And you're blindfolded. I don't know it.
I
I'm
see
not a
no
Freemason.
changes. Just start doing a Tupac verse.
I see no changes. All I see is racist faces.
Well, the guy that invited me to join the Freemasons is a black guy, so he's probably in one that's not too racist.
Gang. Maybe he's a Prince Hall Mason. Prince Hall was a badass. He was a black Mason who started his own chapter, and the Freemasons were like, nah, black people can't do that.
Wow.
That's not Masonry. And he was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And he kept doing it. He kept getting more black people, more, until the Freemasons were like, yo, this guy's getting strong. Because he started making his own lodges.
Yeah.
So they're like, yo, we got to bring him in. Because it's getting too high. It's going to rival us soon.
And then he was down to get in?
Yeah. They inducted him.
He wasn't like, fuck you guys. You didn't. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
No, but like it still recognizes like very like I believe Shaq is a Prince Hall Mason.
Wow.
Like a lot of guys who are black are usually Prince Hall Masons.
Interesting.
Because that's where you want to go. You want to like go to that place. Unless you can do it in Egypt, then you gotta go to Egypt.
Yeah.
That's what this guy did.
That's where to do it.
That's gangster, man.
Yeah, we gotta start looking that up. Was this guy a Freemason? The fact that you looked that up, I'm sure we've done other people that I never even thought to look.
George Washington,
Freemason,
100%.
So Freemason is kind of like the Illuminati. Is it attached or not?
From YouTube rabbit holes, I've heard that it's its own thing, and it was infiltrated by the Illuminati at some point.
What's the symbol for Illuminati again?
It's the rock
symbol. Because I had a neighbor across the street from me that used to have something on the back of it. Yeah, he used to have this.
Your neighbor had that on the back
on the back of his car.
Oh, because he was probably a Mason. He probably had the square, this thing that they have. Sorry, Freemasons. I don't know what it's called. The square. Yeah, ruler in the square. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? So yeah, they're everywhere and nowhere.
Tell you, hop in, bro. It's nice brotherhood, bro.
But for such a smart guy, also just to come back with another fun fact about Napoleon. So apparently one time Napoleon played chess with a machine. So they built a machine that was like able to play chess, but apparently it was actually somebody hiding inside the machine that was playing the game.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Isn't that crazy?
I was like, there's no way they had a machine that could do anything.
Napoleon was not one to be upstaged, but was famously beaten in chess by the Turk, a fake chess-playing machine. What Napoleon wasn't aware of was that the Turk had a person hiding in its interiors.
Wow. I wonder who it was. That guy went into hiding instantly.
Napoleon cheated at cards.
Well, he had to after he found out about the machine thing. He was like, I'm never letting this happen again.
Napoleon hated to lose. He took pains to avoid it. Though his skills of perception and prompt judgment helped him master everything which came his way, he was surprisingly not a pro at any game. And he hated losing. His only resource was to cheat. I wonder if I think his other resource was like, let me win or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, no, that's happening. You're going to die.
Yeah.
If you want to play games.
Let's go to some of...
Hey, let's have another fun fact. He shot the nose off the Sphinx because he didn't like seeing a Negro nose on it.
In Egypt?
That's what they say. That's always been like a rumor. That's always been a thing that people have heard, that Napoleon shot the nose off the Sphinx.
They said he stole Rosetta Stone from Egypt too. I didn't even know Rosetta Stone was a thing. I thought it was. Just,
Oh, really?
I thought it was just how people learn new languages and shit.
No, man, it's a real thing.
Oh, there's the shot the nose off the Sphinx.
Yeah. That's why it's there.
Is that the stone?
Ooh, can you imagine? It was in there, and that's why he shot the nose.
The stone was a nose ring.
Wow. It was a septum ring, one of those septics.
His greatest find was Rosetta Stone, discovered the inscribed slab during the demolition of an ancient wall in the city of Rosetta. He immediately recognized the potential significance and had the stone shipped to Cairo. Written in hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Greek, the stone eventually proved to be the cipher that cracked ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Wow.
This guy's Freemason as fuck.
Yeah, because he knew the symbolism of it.
Yeah.
For him to know the symbolism of that symbolism wasn't a thing that people, regular people, didn't know about back then. Like now, a lot of people know about it because you can look things up. But back then, people didn't know why things looked a certain way. Shit's gonna die.
That's crazy, man.
Bro, a Freemason. I knew it. As soon as you were telling me he knew all this shit,
yeah,
I was like, this guy has to be a Mason. Which I got no problem with Masons. I think they're good people.
I think so too. One last great accomplishment by him. He reconciled the French state and the Catholic Church, because before him, like I said, they were very anti-Catholic. They used to cut people's heads off for not agreeing to be like, no, Catholic ain't that shit. So during the French Revolution, the French Church was removed from the papal authority. Church lands and endowments were seized by the states, and most clergy fled the country. In 1801, Napoleon signed a contract with the Pope. This agreement acknowledged Catholicism as the religion of the majority of French people, and priests were allowed to return to their churches and preside over worship.
Oh, wow. Because those other dudes forced them out? Because they were killing everybody?
Yeah.
Wow, so he brought religion back even.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could be any religion you wanted. Under him, he was not like picky about that, so that's nice. So
he's like, just do your thing, man. He's like, but when you see me, you better drop down to shoulder level, motherfucker.
Now, for all the good that he brought back to France, he did compromise the gains of the French Revolution, because the revolution had other things in mind, like women were supposed to have rights and stuff. So the French Revolution ended the monarchical rule in France, but Napoleon brought it back. Instead of returning the power to people, he truncated the powers of legislator, rewarded his supporters. He had himself proclaimed emperor, so there was no vote. You know what I mean? He presided over a extravagant court and showered his family with wealth, positions, and privilege. And he reduced the rights of women. That's a con.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But that's that incel shit, right? He had 2 wives. I don't even know if he's past his wives at this point. But you know what I mean? He needed them.
Did he have 2 wives?
Yeah, that's what they say. He had one marriage that was distant and one that was
close,
hot and heavy, but it was shitty. The one that was distant was better because he was longing for that pussy all the time.
Interesting.
Writing letters.
Yeah.
Probably getting ladies to jerk him off while he thought about his wife.
Yeah, let me think about my wife while you jack me off.
Because he's a gentleman.
Well, I write this letter and cry. Suck my dick.
Oh, man. There had to be at least one dictator, emperor that was like that. He'd be like, I'm writing this letter. He'd unsheath himself, pull his dick, start writing a letter.
Oh, for sure. There's people, not even dictators. There's fucking musicians like that in the 70s that would have girls suck their dick under the table while they write a song.
That's insane. That's so weird. Such a weird life.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It is. That is odd. Even if it would be fun, it's still weird as well. I could never have that kind of. That's so weird. What
if you came to do the podcast and while you were setting up, there was just a girl sucking my dick under the table, and you're like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "I'm just doing my research." Do you want this to be a good episode or not?
Bro, I'd want to know who the girl is. What's going on? Why is she sucking your dick?
Because I would think better that way.
Why?
She's clearing my blockage.
That'd be amazing. And as I write this letter to you all, I am climaxing. in some wench. Know me, Napoleon. And then he just takes a gob of his own sperm. He just slaps it on the letter. He's like, these motherfuckers don't know.
Seal it with a kiss.
Open it with your tongue.
Yes. So that's all the good stuff about Napoleon. How about some more bad stuff? I already told he was responsible for a lot of death and destruction. Obviously, a lot of wars. It's estimated 3.5 to 6 million deaths during his time as a leader of France.
Wow, true. That's pretty big.
An unknown number. Oh wow. An unknown number of women and girls were raped
by Napoleon.
Just during his time, like his army. Not just him. I didn't hear much about him raping. Did you hear anything about him raping?
I didn't see anything about him raping at all. I just assume an army back then is gonna rape.
Yeah, when you're looting villages and burning them down,
when you're ringing in that freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're bringing that liberty into town,
you don't have a queen anymore.
You can do this. It's okay.
Yeah, man. Napoleon's people like for Napoleon blame other countries for his wars, but at the same time, yeah, he definitely was leading the army that was coming through and leaving thousands homeless and burning places to the ground. So you gotta put that in the con file. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. He's doing his dictator shit. He's in his dictator bag right now.
There was one specific one, the Massacre of Jaffa. Now this is
Jaffa.
This is before he became emperor. This is when he was in Egypt. The French laid siege to the city of Jaffa in what is today Israel, and was then under the Ottoman emperor, the Turkish control. So after capturing the city, Napoleon allowed his troops to spend at least 2 days looting the place and raping and slaughtering its inhabitants, including the elderly women and children. He also ordered the execution of 3,000 prisoners of war.
Damn.
Even though he had promised mercy, that didn't sound like mercy.
I wonder how he did it. I wonder if he was just like one by one they got hung, or if he just said, "All right, guys, kill everybody."
It's estimated 4,100 people were massacred by the French at Jaffa.
And who were those horrible guys that were raping elderly women?
I know.
What's wrong with those guys?
Napoleon's like, yeah, let's go rape and pillage, and then somebody's like pointing at an old lady, like, I can even rape this one, and Napoleon's like, all right, you can rape the old ladies too.
He's like, you'd like to do that?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Have a go.
I go. I want you to fuck the dust out of that pussy.
I think so. And in reality, the woman's just 38, and that's elderly back then.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
That's 100%.
Yeah, man. So it's pretty fucked up. Like, obviously, the spoils of war back then. It was a fucked up time. So it's impossible not to have some dirt and blood on your dick,
bro.
Back then.
But it wasn't him, right? It was his army. It's always their armies, and obviously that's gonna happen.
Well, considering how incel his laws were, I'm sure. We didn't do any research to find this, but it would be hard to believe that there was all this raping and pillaging going on, and Napoleon wasn't going to take a crack at one of those.
That's true too, right? He's just writing letters. I doubt it. Oh.
And even though Napoleon built up like
here, bro.
What?
So you need to blow your nose? You can blow your nose if you want.
Oh, I'm okay.
I got you, bro. Don't even worry.
Thanks. Well, now I will.
That's how we do it on Pros and Conquerors. We take care of each other. We don't just fucking ride it out for you guys, okay? Okay?
I was scratching my nose and this guy gave me a tissue.
Self-care. That's what it's about first.
Put that in the pro Kyle for Colin. Bro, we'll hand you a napkin if your nose looks itchy. Yeah, man. So Napoleon, he left when Napoleon was out. Napoleon left France diminished and bankrupt. He left France in a weaker position than where he started because they were exhausted by war, out of money, and confined by borders that were even smaller than when he came to power. Most of his overseas colonies at the mercy of victorious allies. So they basically had to give up a lot of their overseas colonies to their victorious allies.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
But that Jaffa thing, so that was it. That was Israel. Israel used to be known as Jaffa.
So Jaffa it's part of Israel today.
Oh, it still exists.
But back then, it was part. So back then, it was part of Egypt, and it was under the Ottoman Empire, which spanned to Israel, which Jaffa is in Israel.
So like, almost Egypt is connected to Israel by Jaffa, almost.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here.
Come on, guys.
I don't know I don't know where it is on the map.
Come on, guys. Where's Israel? It's in the Middle East. Come on. Come back to Africa, Israel. It's okay. It's okay. Be part of Africa. It's okay. We got South Africans there. It's fine.
Let's see where it is on the map.
We get along. Come on, Israel. You come on back to Africa. Come home.
That's what you want, eh?
Well, I mean, if they're connected to Egypt through this place, and that place used to be Egypt, what are we saying right now?
What country is Jaffa in?
That's why I always feel a brotherly vibe from Israeli guys.
Really?
No, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, it just says it's in Israel now, but
of course,
you can see it's right at the edge of.
Jeez, love you guys. That's amazing. That's so weird to know, and it's so odd that you could go to a place where Napoleon raped and pillaged. Like, it's still standing. It's all still there. Like, that's fucked.
Oh, yeah.
That's so weird.
It is crazy, but it was a long time ago.
And that reach, that span that he had to get all the way to Egypt, and they're taking shit over. Like, what the fuck?
Well, but he wasn't in Egypt trying to take over. They were just trying to block Britain from getting to India. That was the whole point. They were there. And while they were there, I guess they're like, we might as well just rape and pillage.
Yeah, because if those people weren't down, like his whole thing is, right? If you're not down for us, then you must be wanting to get raped and pillaged.
I see that look on that old lady's face.
She's 39 years old. That elderly woman on her deathbed. I'm 42. Your life will end soon.
So that's pretty much like the major pros and cons. I got some more fun facts about him though, if you want.
I heard that he liked a good prank.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what I heard. That he was into pranks.
Tell me about one of his pranks. If you know.
I didn't hear about any of them.
Oh,
but he was just into pranking people, fucking with them.
Beethoven originally planned to dedicate his Third Symphony to Napoleon.
At gunpoint.
You know how the fucking Third Symphony goes. How does the Third Symphony go? Is that the Third Symphony?
I have no idea.
I was thinking.
That could be it.
So Beethoven admired the general, even into Napoleon's early years as first consul after overthrowing the existing government. When he began working on the Third Symphony, Beethoven professed that it was inspired by Napoleon's heroic exploits. So I'd have to hear. I want to know what it sounds like. But basically, what does this say now? He lost. Oh, but when Napoleon became emperor of France, Beethoven lost all respect for him. So he wrote it for him as a general. But when he became emperor, he's like, nah, fuck this guy.
He's like, you've sold. You're a sellout. You're a sellout, bro. I thought you were for the people. See, I ain't writing no songs for you ever again. It's weird that he could like think of heroic exploits and make a symphony. It's very
well, Beethoven, when somebody asked him about about how he wrote that for Napoleon, he flew into a rage and cried out, "Is he too then nothing more than an ordinary human being? Now he too will be trampled on the rights of man and indulge only his ambition," which is true. Because he overthrew the government. Oh, no more of that hereditary shit. But then he's like, oh, by the way, my brother's king of Spain now. So,
Do you think he really talked like that, Beethoven? We flew into a rage and said something so beautiful. Isn't that weird how people used to talk? But I guess he was saying this shit in French, right?
True.
French
Je
is
n'ai
beautiful.
pas,
Yeah.
comprends pas, blue.
Je suis. Je suis.
Comment ça va bien, comme ci, comme ça.
Merci beaucoup.
Mm-hmm.
Bonjour. Bonjour, hi.
Bonjour, hi. I heard just the other day that French was trying to, in Quebec French, they were trying to change bonjour, hi to bonjour, ho, because they say that bonjour, hi is too English. They're like, why would we say bonjour, hi? We say ho over here. Ho, ho.
Bonjour, ho. Bunch of bonjour hoes over there.
You bunch of bonjour hoes, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going over to Montreal. Catch them bonjour hoes. What'd you just say about hoes? No, nothing, honey. I was just saying what's up to my friend. Bonjour, ho, Jamal. And he's like, bonjour, ho, to you, too. And then they go to Montreal to have sex with scallywags.
They say Napoleon likely died of stomach cancer.
No way. You think so?
Probably. There's some people that say that he was arsenic poisoned, but
he was for sure poisoned.
You think he was for sure poisoned? Despite 200 years of arsenic speculation, Napoleon died May 5th, 1821, at the age of 51, while in exile. Basically, the death certificate. The physician reported on the death certificate that the emperor had died of stomach cancer. I can't believe cancer was around back in the 1800s. Eh? Not crazy?
Yeah, it's weird. That is weird. That's very weird. I don't believe it was cancer either. I feel like a doctor in the 1800s couldn't diagnose cancer.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like he just wouldn't. Like, how would you know? He just died of something. He was eating and died of something. I think they poisoned him. Because that would make the most sense. If he's in exile, it's like, yo, when this motherfucker comes back, it's going to be wild. I don't want to fight a 51-year-old Napoleon. And they were like, let's just poison him nice and slow. He'll die on that island.
Wow.
That's how Britons do it, bro.
That is it.
They don't play games.
Yeah, Britain was definitely afraid of Napoleon inspiring their own citizens to do a revolution. Yeah, that's what the scariest part of Napoleon was. And that's why they had to put out these, propaganda calling him short when he was 5'7", which is a perfectly okay height, everybody.
They said, I think somebody was saying that the men that he stood with were huge. So when you looked off into the distance, he looked like he was like this small dude, but he's like really standing next to like 3 Brock Lesnars.
I brought the big guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like,
it was that.
Here's Undertaker, here's Kane, here's the Big Show.
So the people who were opposing him would be like, look at him, the size of a child. Look at him, how small he is. Oh, and then he ran off and got murdered later.
When you look at the starting lineup of a basketball team, there's going to be one guy that's short, but short on the basketball court is still 6'3". It's just that the rest of the guys are 6'8" plus.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what they said, and then they took that and just ran with it.
Yeah.
They're like, I think his dick is small as well. You don't want to be like Napoleon, small dick like a child, yes?
Yeah, exactly. Look at him. That's what happens when you start a revolution, your dick shrinks. And all the men, I don't know if I want to take that chance.
It seems when you oppose the king, you shrink in size.
Yes. I don't know where to go from here. I just, I feel like Napoleon.
How do you feel about him?
I feel like he definitely, he got a lot of things right, but when he got absolute power corrupts absolutely. Like the guy did a lot of great things early in the game. He did the right thing, overthrowing a really brutal government, and then when he came to power, when he came to power, he did some dirt, but at the same time, he still got the school system going. He spread word throughout Europe that we don't need to live under kings and queens. We can liberate ourselves. So his overall influence in Europe, I feel like without him in history, Europe would be a worse place. Like he left a more positive mark than negative mark, in my opinion. Not being an expert.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here thinking right now, what would it look like if it was still all kings and queens and shit
Yeah.
in Europe or even here? Like how horrible that would be.
Like without him, would France have just been collapsed under British rule, and then kings and queens would just stay a thing everywhere else?
Right? They'd be everywhere. Like imagine LeBron James was a king, and it was just like you just had to listen to LeBron James.
That wouldn't be too bad. LeBron James is a great guy.
You have no idea what he would have in store for you if he was a king, because he wouldn't give a fuck about you.
He'd probably build a school or something.
He'd be like, I want to have sex with 4 Irishmen. Bring me Irishmen. And
Yeah.
he just line everybody up and just pick. You don't know how he'd be if he was a king. Maybe
I don't
wild.
I don't think so.
He could be all out out in the open with it when he's a king. You just go wild with it. You never know, man.
True.
It would be bullshit. It would be bullshit if there's kings and queens, though. I mean, there still are. And even in the places where there are, people don't like that. Like they don't openly oppose it. I don't know how much you can openly oppose it. Like I know in the UK, they pretty much do. Like Russell Brand speaks against the Queen quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like he doesn't live in the UK anymore. I think that's part of what you got to do.
That's why you got to get out to talk that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think so.
Let's go through some of Napoleon's quotes. I love judging people based off their quotes. Like if you're a guy in history that did some dirt, you better have some good quotes to make me feel like, okay, this guy, at least he said some good shit. You know what I mean?
Quotes can make up at least 1 point on the pros and cons list.
I think so.
If you got good quotes, you can get a point on the pros.
I think more than 1 point, yeah. So here's some of his great ones. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. That's a good one, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. Can you believe that? That was Napoleon's quote.
He's not playing around.
If you want something done well, do it yourself. That one, a lot of people still say to this day.
Of course.
And they credit it to Napoleon. History. Ooh, here's a great one for the show. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Isn't that great?
Wow. See, that's smart. See, that's that Freemason talk. He knows.
History is written by the victor, and history is a set of lies agreed upon. Things like that. I'm just like, we needed this guy in history, like talking that shit.
Yeah. Can you imagine? And you know why he said that, right? They're like, we heard that you're 5'3", and he's just like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
History is just a set of lies that are agreed upon. You understand?
You guys are just gonna agree about that. I'm 5'7". It's perfectly average in these days. I go to the market, and most people are my height. So what's up?
Even your wife, Napoleon. Then they run off.
A soldier will fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon. Just getting that fucking that honor.
And you know what? That stems from him being a soldier too, because he started as a soldier. That's like, pretty
I couldn't
cool.
wait to get that ribbon. What an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. He knows the mind of like a soldier. He's like, they'll fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon. So give it to them. And maybe that colored ribbon was rape.
Damn.
Maybe
that colored ribbon was different colors of pussy.
Yeah.
And ages.
Maybe that's why he called it that.
You want that old gray ribbon, sir? Go right ahead and have it.
A bit of colored ribbon for everybody. And then they're like, they all run in. They know what's up.
Here's a good one. Impossible is a word only to be found in the dictionary of fools.
That's amazing. Good for him. That's sick, man. That's some fucking Tony Robbins shit right there.
Later on, 200 years later, Adidas would say, impossible is nothing.
Adidas.
Impossible is a word only found in the dictionary of fools. Think about that, guys. 2021. Beat all the odds.
That's that Freemason talk right there. What up? Fucking square your circle, bro. Circle your square.
Nice.
You can ask your friend what that means.
Yes. Here's a good one and very, very true. A leader is a dealer in hope.
Huh. Wow.
Isn't that true?
So he's like, yeah.
Every time you're running for office, you're a dealer in hope.
Of course. Change, yes, we can. You know?
Yeah. Wasn't there somebody that specifically had something about hope? I can't remember. I kind of remember.
I feel like somebody who lost had something about hope.
Yeah.
Somebody who was opposing someone that won.
A New Hope. Star Wars, A New Hope.
Yeah, I guess because when you're a leader, you are You're giving guys hope. That's your main job, is to keep them very hopeful. Huh.
Oh, in politics, stupidity is not a handicap. And that's true. When you think about some of the guys, like George Bush was known as an idiot. Like everyone thought he was stupid.
Of course.
But he still became president.
Of course.
And did he get 2 terms? Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Not a handicap.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Here's a good one. Everyone should know this and listen to this and know it well. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it.
Wow.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Wow. See, that's that incel shit. I'm telling you. Dealer in hope. That hope was for sure rape. You know what I mean?
What?
Best way, yeah, for sure. And the best way to keep one's word is to not to give it because he's mad at his wife for cheating.
Oh, you shouldn't have gave me your word.
Now you have to go to jail.
No, but he never killed his wife or anything, did he? No.
I don't think he killed her.
He never sent her to jail either. There was rumors that she was cheating on him.
Bro, if he knew for sure that she cheated, she goes to jail. Come on. It's Napoleon.
You fucking my wife? Just because you're 5'9"?
Stand shoulder to shoulder with me, sir. He's naked. He's like, stand straight. He's a little taller than him. Murders him.
Speaking of murdering, here's a fucking hard quote. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich.
Whoa. Bro, that's that Freemason shit.
Imagine the whole point of not killing people was like made up by rich people. Like that whole thou shalt not kill, like it wasn't like a godly thing. It was like a fucking rich people not wanting to get killed by poor people thing.
Yeah, there you go. Or like the elite not wanting to get killed by poor people.
Yeah.
You know how bad it is to kill people.
You know killing's bad. Like
you'll go to hell for eternity.
Yeah.
In the afterlife.
You don't want to do that.
And I'll go to heaven. That's not what you want, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to go to heaven. One-way ticket, first class, because I'm rich, bitch.
The best thing for you to do is just vote me out. Use your vote. That will work. Leave me be. Yo, that's actually a great quote, though. A great quote.
Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. So Napoleon, he had a lot of good thoughts. He was quite possibly a Freemason, Illuminati.
He got initiated in Egypt.
There's
nothing more Freemason than that.
Well, while all his boys were raping old ladies, he was getting the keys to the kingdom of knowledge.
Exactly. Man, that's nuts.
And maybe he got initiated by an old. Maybe that's why. So these guys were like, "Can we rape the old woman?" He's like, "Sure, I'll try it out." He goes into this fucking hut with this old lady, and she's like, "I could give you my pussy, or I could give you the fucking keys to knowledge." And he's like, "What?" And she pulls out this triangle, circle, square, whatever.
And he's just like, "Oh my god."
She's like, "Go knock that nose off that Sphinx and watch what comes out."
He's like, "Thank you,
Rosetta Stone. Now I can learn French."
He's like, "Thank you so much. I will still rape you though. Come here."
Damn, that's hard. That's ruthless.
Yo, it says here his brother Louis Bonaparte was made was made master of the Grand Orient of France, and countless military lodges were created and marched with Napoleon's armies wherever they went, spreading liberty, equality, and fraternity. That's why he would put his family in places, because his family was already like initiated into Freemasonry. So he was just installing Freemasons. He did what he did with kings and queens. So there would be no kings and queens to usher in the one world government. That's what he did. Wow. He established governments because he knew the next steps.
So the next step was to make a one world government under...
Well, that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's what it was. And they spreaded COVID. Soldiers had COVID for sure, right?
Just coming back to did his wife cheat on him? Napoleon went off to lead an army in a brilliantly successful campaign, while Josephine failed to answer even one of his love letters and had at least one love affair and ran up colossal debts. No wonder he was a little harsh on women after.
Wow. He was like, you know what? You'll go to jail. Because you see what happens? We go to war and you run up expensive bills and you have sex with men named Jonathan. And they're like, sorry, sir? What? He's like, nothing. Just put the law down now.
As he rose to fame and power, Josephine began using her contacts to forward his interests. So he never like punished her for that, but he's just like, yo, you did me dirty, bitch. And she's like, don't worry, I was sucking the right dicks, making some deals for you along the way.
Yo, could you imagine you said that to your girlfriend and she said, don't worry, I was sucking the right dicks.
Oh my god. I would cry. I'd cry as I walk her to jail. Imagine people had to go to jail for cheating. What a scary life that would be, yo.
Holy fuck. Oh my god. Well, you know what? Women, well, not even just women, people would do it more because of the turn on.
Oh, this the
go to jail.
Yeah. This is
that's probably what it was like for interracial couples, like back in like the 40s, 30s and shit. It's probably like, this pussy's the best pussy ever. Oh, because you can straight up go to jail.
Yeah, it's wild.
Weird, man.
That was like a black thing, right?
What, interracial? Interracial is always a black and white thing, man.
What, would white men go to jail for fucking black women? No.
Oh, I don't. Well, maybe, because you're not supposed to be doing that. Mm-hmm. You know you're supposed to be having sex with a good white woman.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you doing? I don't know.
But anyways, man. So Napoleon, overall, like I said, it was better to have him than not have him. He seems like a guy that accomplished some great things. The Napoleon complex, you know, short kings everywhere to this day are accomplishing great things because they have this complex of being short. Like, oh, you're not tall? Well, you better do some great things in life then. And they did. Kevin Hart. Who else is a short king? Who's the short king? Who was the shortest
short king?
2020. Who was the short king of 2020?
We only had one tall king. He stood at about 6'3", and his name was Donald J. Trump. You know that's how big he is. You know how fucking crazy that is. Oh, short king. Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar? All right, sick.
The guy's up to my shoulder.
Frodo Baggins. He was 3'6". Charlie Chaplin was only 5'5".
That makes sense.
100 famous short men. So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, Martin Luther King, 5'7". Bruce Lee, 5'7". Winston Churchill, 5'7". Napoleon Bonaparte, 5'6". So, look at that.
Jay-Z, 6'2".
Was he?
Is he?
Bob Marley, 5'8", sold over 75 million albums. See, pretty much all the greatest people ever were my height, so that's pretty cool.
You said Bono? Who else?
Bob Marley.
No, who else though? Rivers, Gandhi. Ew, you guys got Gandhi.
Robin Williams.
Okay, you guys got
Robert Downey Jr. Paul Simon.
I don't know who that is. Bono.
You don't know Paul Simon? Simon and Garfunkel?
Oh shit, I do know who Simon.
Ulysses S. Grant, 5'8". Woo!
Yo, you know what? I don't really. Is 5'8" short though?
I'm just saying. I'm sticking up for everyone. 5'8", 5'7".
I always say that because like my buddy's like your height, and he says like, yeah, you get that bullshit. You know, you tell somebody your height on Tinder or something, and they're ghosting guys out here.
I know,
just because of height.
It's so true.
But 5 to me, it's not short. Like you don't seem short to me.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
If I had to look down to look at you,
you just stopped me from taking over a country, though.
That's all Napoleon needed.
You put the fire. Yeah. Napoleon, you're pretty tall, actually.
Yeah, that's all he needed is for someone to walk up and say, "Man, you're average height. You're even on the tall side, man." He would have been like, I won't murder anyone. Not today.
Look at this. Is there any famous person that's not 5'8"? Because I'm seeing everyone. You know, Jon Stewart, Mark Wahlberg, Danny DeVito. We're all fucking short kings.
Keep going.
Yogi Berra, the best quotes of all time. Yogi Berra.
Wow, look at all these people.
Yeah, Lionel Messi knew that one.
So every time we see them on camera, they're going to the people shooting and saying, "Can you angle it so I look like I'm tall?" Good job, list of 100 guys who do that. That's what they do. They say, make sure, like if I'm a girl and I'm here, I gotta be like this. I gotta be like this.
Yeah.
That's what Tom Cruise would tell me to do. He'd be like, can you just sit like this?
Look how tall I am. Look at this short bitch. Yeah, man. So short kings stay winning. Thanks for getting that started, Napoleon. You know what I mean? You my dog.
Yeah, man.
Ulysses S. Grant, you sick too.
I think Napoleon was because I guess we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I'll just say what I think about him. I think he was good, but he did things the way that they did them, and he was just good at it. And it was more the people who were getting it from him that were talking shit about him. So it's like if you're not with it, he just attack you, take you over real easy, and then you'd be like, oh, this guy, he's just short and he's just a warmonger and this and that. But it's like he was just doing what he had to do. He just watched France get attacked by all neighboring places, so it was like, okay, if all the neighboring places aren't on board with me, I'm gonna get attacked again. So he just handled business.
Yeah, don't start no shit, there won't be no shit. Pretty
He's
much.
like, I just saw history do this. I just witnessed this. I was a part of it. So I'm not letting this happen to me. So he did what he had to do. The rapes, I have no idea what it was about rape back then, but armies did it. Armies did it quite a bit. They were into it.
French men are just fucking savages. They're like, we're not just gonna rape the hot girls. We're gonna rape these old ladies too. Like, why the fuck was that included?
and
he greenlit raping old women.
Con. But that what you said about him doing that and all the people and the 3,000 people getting killed and everything, there are people who said that he was worse than Attila the Hun and worse than Genghis Khan because of the things he did.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't think he was, but I get it because he murdered people indiscriminately and let his soldiers rape people and probably rape people.
The only way I would say he's worse than Genghis Khan is that he did it like 2,000 years later, where it's like Genghis Khan did it. Like we've established the further back you go, the more allowances you get for murder and rape. So in a sense, he could be a little worse. But
wow, I didn't even think of that because it was only 200 years ago, like you were saying, or 250 or whatever.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Never mind. He's fucked up. He's wild. He's a wild boy.
But
he's a wild boy.
Some of the stuff that he implemented, like the Napoleonic Code, it still exists to this day. And for somebody, a so-called like vicious dictator or whatever, the guy he implemented things that are good for the people: education, fucking equality. Not that nice to women, but we didn't figure that out until recently, anyways.
He's an incel. It's all good. Incels by nature are going to be a little more harsh to women, and obviously he was an incel.
He wasn't really an incel though. Like he wrote a romance novel. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, but what do you think incels are doing at home? They don't tell us about the romance novels they write. They just write them about the girl that they always wanted to sleep with. They never tell anybody about it. Jerk off into their pillows.
Yeah. So overall, good guy. Oh, not. Yeah, he wrote a love story. There it is. He wasn't an incel.
He's like, and then the man stood 5'7", completely average height for the time being, and then he grabbed her, a woman short, 5'5". He was much taller than her. They embraced, and then her dog bit him.
Wow, it was written in 1795, but it wasn't published until 1920. It's called Clisson and Eugene, a love story by Napoleon Bonaparte.
That's so weird.
Apparently, he wrote it about his brother's wife's sister. He's like, he was so inspired by her.
See? This is a chick he wanted to slam. I knew it. I called it.
Yeah,
I called it. I knew it.
Where do love stories come from?
That's where all good love stories come from. True.
Yeah, man. So overall, I think he's a great name in history. There's the Napoleon complex. There's the Napoleon, the Napoleonic Code. He's the one that started governments for the people in Europe. Before that, it was all monarchies. Like, he's such an important person in history, and I say, keep up his statues. I mean, I don't think there's any argument.
The statues.
Take him down, but just in the theme with the show, like when people start looking at Napoleon, if they want to start tearing him down, like, remember all the good he did.
I would say to keep them up solely because he left his mark, and as you look into him, he left his mark in like way more ways than just like, if you want something done right, do it yourself. That's like the surface level shit, and then it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper into the things that are still standing to this day. So, yeah I would say keep them up so you can see that no matter how many great things a person does, there was a road for them to get there. Does that make sense?
No.
You
No
know what
matter
you
how
mean?
many
Great things they
person-
do,
Yeah.
there was a road to get there. What, I have to say a bad road for you?
I don't know.
The road to hell's paved with good intentions.
Ooh, yeah. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. You already know the vibe.
Those
guys.
are the only quotes that you get. I say those quotes. You like those two quotes.
Yeah, they make sense. They make sense for my little 5'7" brain. No, but small by stature, big in heart, big in
And a Freemason.
and a Freemason.
Look at this guy. His brother was a Freemason, and he obviously was a Freemason as well.
Yeah, you want to learn some shit? Go to Egypt, fucking old lady, see what happens. That's pretty much the story of Napoleon.
Get consent, people. It's 2021. 2021, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Look at you.
This episode's gonna be like 5 episodes into 2021,
Right?
though.
Yeah, we didn't say it on the one after. Damn, we messed
That would have
up.
been George Washington,
Yeah.
and he was tall.
Wait for that one, guys. All right, wrap it up, bro.
Wait for that one. That one happened already. Wait for this one.
Oh yeah, true. Because we're in the future.
We're in the future talking about the past, guys. This is Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. I'm your host at jam_easy on the gram, James Cummins. Here's Colin at Colin's Process.
This has been another episode, a great episode. Napoleon Bonaparte. Irish. So you give it a little fighting Irish, and you give it a little black pride, and then we wrap it. Peace.
The other way is white pride.
Oh yeah, true.
Thank you for listening to Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. Rate, review, subscribe, and share. And remember to participate on our Instagram and shit and all that good stuff and blah, blah, blah. Follow us on Instagram.